All right, so with reports coming through about basically Woody Johnson being like, we go about to answer sketch, clear this whole thing out. They've already fired the coach, already fired the GM. Guess what's next? You right? They're going to release Garrett Wilson out of the plane. I was like, basically releasing Aaron Rodgers. At first it was like he might not at first it was like he might not come back next year. Is it because of him or because of the team? But then it was like, yo, they're talking about like, oh, this benching for Tyrod Taylor. I heard that. Then it was like, oh, I was like, he's not wanting back next year. Going to start all over. Now it's like, yo, we might release him tomorrow. Playboy, that's wild. Of like, how did it just end so badly? Now, let's be honest. This is it. Over. It's a wrap. Dunzo. Deal in the state. Yeah. No. This I was like. Now, I was like, let's go to the topic of, is he washed? Yes. Like, now I was like, I want to say 80% of that. I think really I was like, really, to be honest, I think it's really because his Achilles injury really was. I was like, for his age, I was like, that Achilles injury, I was like, I think that's really too much in comparison to if he was like 33. And I was like, to be honest, I was like, the only reason, because I'm like, you still see it, but you still see it with any of like the people that, especially like great on to the end, that the court can do it at that level. I really want to say that it's over in a couple parts, where it's like the offensive line was just so bad that I think that it has to be Detroit Lions level of good in order probably to get what you needed to get out of Rodgers. Also, the reason I was like, normally your year one of Achilles is normally not it's normally year two or whatever after that you sort of want to see like, okay, you're sort of you're more healthy, you're more back to what you could be, not back to what you was, but you're more back to what you could be. We seen like it taking like some like J.K. Dobbins and or Breece Hall that's on this team and stuff like that, to where that like, hey, they did a lot better, but you've seen how also long it took. But I was like, quarterback at that age and stuff like that. But I was like, he's still there. I was like, it's really just more realizing that this is really affecting me more so, and also I'm not the same type of arm talent I used to with strength and throwing off the back leg in the same way. We sort of seen it with Peyton Manning or whatever, where the injury came up and his arm just not being the same at the same started waning. Sort of happened with Aaron Rodgers. But but I was like, hey, that's why I say that he's not all the way washed, because I was like, I can play some of these blames here, but it's really the team. It's really the team that just wasn't. We had too much expectations of it for what this Aaron Rodgers is. That team needed to be what it's been the last couple years, where it was like that defense had players that had depth, and they don't have it anymore. They've been banged up this year. I was like, the receiving talent has gotten better, but I was like, the offense I think actually has sort of gotten better, trying to mesh with things. But then it just comes back to just being Aaron Rodgers. Like, it sort of looked like when it was Matt Ryan towards the end, where it was just kind of like when he went to the Colts, and it was just like, no, that's stinky. We need to no, that's dirty. Take it out. Same thing with Rodgers, but also it's his own fault because of how he is with this offense. If this offense was able to be at the level to where we can put all the flashy things that the in motions and scheming up some stuff or whatever, then just being like, hey, I need y'all to win, time and anticipation, all that other jazz, then I think he could probably also, it would probably help not just this offensive line, this team. It would help him out. But since he's not able to do that, And even though there's going to be quite a few teams that you could say like, oh, they're going to be finding another spot. I mean, another quarterback, another bridge quarterback, drafting a quarterback. I don't think there's a team, to be honest, that Aaron Rodgers could really go to. So that door that's about to come out there, kind of like retirement at this point. Um, and I think the biggest factor is I was like, if they do it mid-season, we'll see what Tyrod can do with the team or whatever. Because if they play really well, that's going to be referendum on Rodgers. I think that the fact that the Jets aren't going to rebuild, because I was like, yes, they need a quarterback, and depending on what they do with Devontae Adams, but everybody else on that team is young. They just need people to be healthy and to come back and draft a little bit back. Well, what I think Douglas did do, they didn't mess up on the quarterback. But if they get that, and that's why I can understand they get rid of Joe Douglas, because it's like, you mess up on the quarterback, then I was like, this owner's not going to trust you to come up with another quarterback, no matter how good the rest of the team is, just because it's like, I'm like, look, this is the quarterback's the flashy part. That's easy to notice than some of the talking like other players and stuff. But the fact that they're not going to rebuild, it's going to be a retooling, I think is also relevant. Because it's like, you was the piece to take this over the top, but there's a reason why we went and got you, because we thought we had everything else. So we're just going to find somebody else in this situation. But there's no team that, like, if he got like mid-season or but we're sort of past that he's going to be able to join in a short amount of time in order like somebody would have to go down with injury, and I mean really go down. Like, you would need some 49ers, like, we're on our third quarterback type of situation, because even then most of these teams are just going to try out their second string quarterbacks at this rate, even if they're not that good, than to pick Aaron Rodgers up. And as far as next year, who is there really to be? You think he's gonna go to the Las Vegas Raiders and Tom Brady being partial owner? Don't get me wrong, with Mark Davis, maybe, but everywhere else pretty much got young quarterbacks. You think he's gonna go to Carolina? Okay, because some of this is also on Rodgers too. He's not gonna accept no backup role. There ain't gonna be a starter role out there that I could come off the top of my head and be like, that's where he's going to go. No, especially if you got to make the offense very centric to him and stuff like that, and he's doing all these answers and stuff like that. It's the thing that we've seen time from time where it comes to stars, that if you're a star of a certain level or was of a certain level, and the way you the rapport you carry with yourself, really will see if you stick around. Matt Ryan, he was going to have a chance. If he wanted to, he probably could have stuck around as a backup. Phillip Rivers, but I think he probably could have done it. But Aaron Rodgers is going to go down into basically like Russell Wilson. If he didn't play good this year, I don't know how many. Like, he would have had a chance to show he could be a backup at least. But Aaron Rodgers is going to go down as one of them stars that just like, you're more trouble than what the squeeze is. And it's not worth it if you're going for what you're going to be at this level that we don't think you're going to get. Now, in saying that, do I think he played his last down or last year? No, I think somebody will come calling next year. I think he'll get looks, but I don't think that he'll be on a team necessarily next year, unless they're doing something where they bring him in after they have their quarterback they drafted. That's the only, I can see maybe a small bridge concept, but even then, right now, I had to see what team is drafting or whatever, really, to be honest, to see, because you don't bring Aaron Rodgers to really sort of be bridge quarterback material. Yeah, I was like, it's not. Yeah, so I was like, the Jets aren't going to retool. They're going to retool, not rebuild. And Aaron Rodgers pretty much is walking in that final door. I think someone will come calling, come sniffing, I was like, he might get a shot, but he's not gonna just get an outright like, oh snap, somebody signed Aaron Rodgers. It's more like Teddy Bridgewater getting hurt, where it's like, oh damn, we desperate. Shoot out these first round picks for Sam Darnold. I mean for Sam Bradford. It's gonna be something like that. And I'm being optimistic. And that's on the low bar. Like, Ant can pull itself up on that bar. That's how low it is. Anyway, let me know what you think. You think it's over? It's done? Probably. Yeah. Until then, yeah. All day, every day, no problem. Peace.